That was little like 7-year-old son.
The meeting has come to order on October 16, 2025 at 7:01 PM in Mamel Hall 112. Director Admin Srinivasan, may we have roll call, please?
President Lighting. Here. Vice President Rai.
Here,
Chief of Staff Gomez.
he's in the bathroom.
Manager of PR Aman.
Here.
Coordinator of Student Engagement Burden. Coordinator of Student Engagement Chip. Director of DA Stevens.
Here.
Director of Finance Savage.
Here.
Director of Integrating Nila.
Here.
Director of Leadership Development Hills.
Here.
Senator Acosta.
Here.
Senator Ed Sebastian.
Here.
Senator Barrentos.
Here.
Senator Bishop.
Here.
Senator Clark.
Here.
Senator Dunn. Senator El Jefe.
Here.
Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Clarity Run.
Here.
Senator Lopez Pereira. Senator Melga Serrano.
Here.
Senator Mitchell.
Here.
Senator Piper. Senator Piper. Senator Portis.
Here.
Senator Subkota.
Here.
Senator Sheikh.
Here.
Senator Tasneem.
Here.
Senator Williams.
Here.
Senator Whiteman.
Here.
Quorum is present, we may begin. Our first item of business is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, if there is no objection, the agenda will be approved as distributed on the call email. Hearing no objection, the agenda is approved. Next is the approval of minutes from October 2nd, 2025. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, if there is no objection, the minutes will be approved as distributed. Hearing no objections, the minutes are approved. We will now hear from Jacob Stodola, Director of Student Legal Services. Please help me in welcoming Jacob.
Yeah, we'll try it. 30 minutes. Try and get you guys out of here in 10. Good evening, everybody. I am Jacob Stodola. I am your Director of Student Legal Services. So if you guys were not aware, you have access to free legal counsel. We have office, which is growing. I'm the director. Why am I presenting? Because we have an agreement where I need to tell you guys fund my office. I don't know if you know that or not. You support my office. So twice a year, I support you guys, or I report to you guys, take your questions. This is intended to be interactive as well. If you guys have questions at any point, just get my attention. Anything before I jump in. Okay. Hey guys. Sorry. Everybody hear me in the back? Yes, good. Okay. Do I need to start over? I really don't want to. Okay. All right. This is our growing office. So in August of this year, it was just myself and Chanel, who is to my immediate left, as you see the screen. We just added an attorney right under me. She started just a couple days ago, Maggie Fry. Very grateful for that. So thank you guys for supporting me. I don't know if you knew you supported that, but you did. Next to Maggie, we have a Creighton extern. She's a second-year student who we have on loan for the semester. And then we just hired a student worker who started yesterday. So our office of 2 is now an office of 5. Questions on any of this? All right. So from the spring, these are the updates. The new attorney who I already talked about, so for a long time I wanted to offer bankruptcies, but the software is relatively expensive. Had a donor, private donor support the office, did some negotiating. We now have this bankruptcy software. So New service now available for free to all UNO students. This was our first year doing Wear Black, Give Back. We had a total of 39 people, 39 donors for the office. Raised $3,200. Very excited about that. Have some plans for it. Lastly, I suppose I could save it because it's a plan, but we are planning on opening a tax clinic. Every year we get a number of individuals. Review my taxes. Can you help with my taxes? I have tax questions, no problem. So the plan is to just make it official and have a tax clinic out of our office. Questions on any of that? All right. This is the big stuff. So this is from inception, relatively old office. Numbers keep getting bigger and bigger. Last month, we set a new record for 150 new cases. Thank you. The one person who's excited. Thank you. We don't advertise, right? We have a website, and then everything else is word of mouth or private referral from faculty or staff or former clients, students. So word's getting out there. We must be doing a good job. Otherwise, those numbers, in my opinion, would be tanking. So hitting new records. We're at about 55 or 56 for this month, which is on par at this time last year. Questions about this? Do any of you guys have law degrees and you want to help? Because 150 last month was a lot. Okay. This is a lot of what we're seeing. So top three, I haven't even looked after I ran this. Top three look to be immigration support, criminal defense, and collection defense. You'll see university issues up there. A lot of those are like Title IX, which we can't do. Couple restrictions for the office. We can't represent student versus student, and we can't represent student uses university. So those are private referrals, right? We'll intake. And our office is completely confidential, right? We've helped over 2,800 students in 3.5 years. We got a case list no one will ever know about. So somebody comes into our office, they have an issue with the university or another student, everything's still confidential. We just can't take it that extra step and represent. So those are private referrals. Business up there, that's going to be like LLC formations, a couple of nonprofits. You guys, I don't know if you know this, you guys are brilliant. Some of the students are doing amazing things. But I'm easily impressed, but they're still doing amazing things. Estate, that's like estate planning, your last wills and testaments. We got some power of attorneys on there. I did have a student whose father passed unexpectedly, and we probated that estate. Protection orders is relatively self-explanatory. Hopefully name changes are as well. Housing, that's going to be your housing disputes. So landlord tenant disputes, issue with my lease, issue with my property. I'm being evicted. I don't have my security deposit back. I'm living in a house with mold and mice, and some of this stuff is really bad. Most of our collections are going to be collection defense. So I've got this credit card bill, this medical bill, this car loan, this whatever it is. Can you help me? Yes. A few of them are collections, which we don't do collections, and there's a couple reasons we don't do that. Criminal, for the most part, is going to be criminal defense, right? I got in trouble. I'm facing something. A few of them are like, I got in trouble a number of years ago. What can I do about my criminal record? Immigration is a lot of, so we do a number of applications, but a lot of students are nervous or scared, either for themselves or their families. So they come in and we'll talk to them and we'll let them know where things are at right now. And then miscellaneous is all over the place. It could be a tax question. It could be an employment question, a discrimination question. We got a lot of that stuff. Okay. Questions on the pie chart? Perfect. All right. So I highlighted a couple within the past year that kind of stuck out that I'm relatively proud of. So this was a student, and all the names are aliases, right? Confidentiality. So I just made up whatever was at the top of my head. So Skylar's dad passed away. Skylar's dad had a will, and wills in Nebraska have to be signed by 2 witnesses or a notary or both. This will was not signed by a notary. It was signed by 2 witnesses, but one was Skylar. So that will is no good. Skylar's dad had 4 kids. He only wants 2 of the kids to have the house. I didn't ask the family drama. I said, okay. And Skylar's dad had bought this house with an ex-girlfriend and she owned half the property. So that word LIEN, that's a lien, right? Ownership by somebody else in the property. So took a long time. We were able to get that property probated. The house is in the two children's names. The other two kids signed off on it. We got the $17,000 debt on the property taken care of. We got the lien removed. Success. Questions. All right. 2, Valentine. Valentine worked for a Nebraska or Omaha or adjacent law enforcement agency. She had a kid with her ex. Ex was being uncooperative. Valentine was being harassed by her ex and by ex's family. She said, I want full custody. There's 2 types of custody. I'm not going to get into it, but it's relatively hard to get both. We were able to do it. And we got child support, something like $560 a month that dad's got to pay on this. So pretty impactful. All right. Dorothy. Dorothy contacted me. She's a non-traditional student. Dorothy has a couple kids. She's got over, I think it was like $5,200 in medical debt. Collectors come knocking. She says, what can I do? What can I do? I've called these people. They won't talk to me. They won't give me any offers. They're trying to get like $600 a month in payments. She said, if I can just get the Jacob, if I can just get them down to like $4,000, I could borrow some money. I could take care of it. Okay. So I enter my appearance. I call the collection agency. I said, guys, I'm representing on this one. What do you want to do? And I used to be a collector for a number of years. So I kind of know how this stuff works. We got it down $2,600. She's crying on the phone. Thank you. Oh my gosh. How did you do it? So that's paid and that's settled. What do we got? Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea, single mom. I mean, it's all up there, but I'll give you just some more background. So landlords or property managers, basically they just want their money. But if you default on your lease, they add a reinstatement fee and they can add attorney's fees. So they said, look, you got to pay your bill plus your late fees plus this attorney fee plus a reinstatement fee. Okay. And the challenge here with this landlord tenant stuff is at the point she had gotten to me, it's already too late to do a great number of things. So this one worked out because I have a really good relationship with the attorney who was evicting her. Called him up, just said, here's the situation. We went some back and forth. They didn't even file the eviction case. I got to them like 12 hours before they were going to file it. So no eviction on a record, no filing, and they waived the attorney fee and all those other fees. It's a pretty good one. I think I've got one more. Yep. All right. So Morgan had a pretty significant criminal conviction like 15 years ago. A lot going on in Morgan's life. Not that person anymore, doing great things, but this conviction is standing in Morgan's way. Comes to me, what can we do? It's pretty hard to get some of these things set aside, especially in like smaller counties. There was this job said, look, you interviewed great, your resume is great, but there's this conviction. It's pretty serious. We can't offer this unless, you got to show us something. So we filed a motion to set aside, had to go in front of a judge. The judge grilled us on it, had a lot of significant questions. Why this one? Why now? How is your client different? Well, we got there. So Morgan got this thing set aside. He got this great job. He's doing amazing things, right? Okay. Guys, that's it. So what do you want to know? What do you got? Like questions about the office, about me, about our practice, about anything?
With the addition of the new lawyer, are you looking to expand more services or?
Yes, and thank you for asking. We're looking to streamline a number of processes. So Maggie's only been here since Monday, and she's already done some really, really, really productive things. We're gonna get more clinics. some handbooks, some self-help materials. So really, it's been me practicing. Case comes in, practice, case comes in, practice. I didn't have a lot of opportunity to do administrative work, and Chanel's great, but she's getting overwhelmed as well. So, oh, I said Chanel's great. I usually don't say that publicly. So don't tell her. Yes, we're gonna do a great number of things, great plans. I presume when I present in the spring, it's gonna be a lot of updates. Things are gonna look very different. Anything else?
Are there opportunities to like volunteer if you wanted to?
I get that question a lot. Here's the issue I have. Rather, here's the issue we're running into. 2,800 cases, right? 2,800 students, confidentiality. So 2,800 students and coaches, teachers, faculty, staff, dean of students, chancellor, residents, like nobody knows who our clients are. Can't know. So the issue is if we get a volunteer, how do we overcome that? We got some ideas. The student worker was like one that you guys supported last year to get that experience. I don't have a good answer yet, other than we have to sacrifice opportunity for confidentiality. Now Chanel's taking lead on like a pre-law or law interest program, which hopefully will get some exposure to people who want to go to law school. I didn't talk to a lawyer until I was in law school, right? I didn't have this opportunity to have a lawyer on campus I could go talk to. So if anyone's interested in law or practice or law school, etc., they can come talk to me and set up an appointment, no problem. But as far as like an internship or shadow or volunteer, we're not there. With law school was terrible. So I will actively try to talk you out of it. Oh, you scolded me for that. Never mind. Let me rephrase. When I went to law school, I wasn't prepared for it. I did not know what I was getting into. So when you come to my office or you meet me and we talk, I'm going to lay it out so you can make the most informed decision. Better? Okay. Good.
Since you said that you have now grown the office so much, are you going to consider marketing? Because I know you said it's mostly just word of mouth. Like, is that something that you're planning on pursuing?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that. So did anybody in this room not know my office existed prior to me coming in? So there's a couple. Perfect. That's a problem. Okay. Every fall I do a number of presentations. I meet with classes. I want everybody to know we exist. So I just made the decision. Yes, we are going to do that. We're advertising. Nothing else? I mean, I'll take it. If you guys. All right. Thank you for the sympathy hand. What do you got?
So if you're paid for by student fees, why can't you represent students against the university?
It's conflict of interest, and it was part of the agreement. So I wasn't always funded by student government. I was funded by the university. And then that had to change. But if I'm representing students, those were the two stipulations. No student versus student, no student versus university. Plus it'd be a conflict. Plus the university has general counsel, so it gets complicated. Now, I have had people take issue with the university. Those are private. I have a list of private attorneys that I refer these individuals to, because I can't tell them you have a case, you don't. Nope. Got your information, go talk to this attorney who handles this type of work. They still get help, just not with me. Yes.
Do you have your like outward referrals in your numbers, like in your pie chart?
My referrals?
Yeah.
Yes. Most of those universities are going to be private referrals. Not all of them, but most of them. Sometimes someone's looking for clarity on something and I can help with that. Or issue with the university, sometimes it's a phone call, a conversation. I'm just asking questions. I'm not disputing. It's just, can you provide me clarity on A, B, C, D? But those are included, yes.
On average, like how many students do you have to say, like, I can't take on your case, or, you know, you're gonna.
About 5 a month. It's low. It's really low. Yep. Yes,
Can you go back to the last slide?
nope. I'm just kidding. Yep. This is on our website too. Yep. Trying to be as accessible to as many students as possible. So Tuesdays by appointment, by request, really. We can meet here. I have an office down the hall. Wednesdays at PKI, same thing. Depending on the issue, some of them can be resolved via Zoom. So we don't necessarily even have to meet in person. But I do not want location to be a barrier to legal support. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, in regards to your numbers in that chart, like for each month and throughout the years, do those include like the cases that are brought to you new that month or like ongoing ones as well?
These are new every month. Yep. So like the probate case I talked about, that took a year. But it was open April of 24. And it closed this like a month ago. Yep. Oh, wait, okay. Go ahead.
If there's a case and then the student graduates, are you still representing them if that case is?
Yes. The office is designed in a way where the average, excuse me, lifespan of a case is like 2 to 6 months. Ethically, once I enter my appearance in a case, I'm obligated by Nebraska rule to see it through. Like family law cases, I'm pretty selective with. Some of these like custody and divorce cases, those will take a year and a half. So I got to make sure I can do it. In immigration cases, so there's the applications that I do, there's the information I provide, and then there's removal cases. So removal is they got these papers and the US government's trying to remove them from the US. Those can take 5 to 7 to 9 years. We don't do those for exactly that reason. I have done those. They are not fun. Am I on time? Yeah, we could stare at each other if you want. Okay.
Advice on preparing for the LSAT.
Yes. Take a class. So I took the LSAT twice. I've been taking tests my whole life. I walked in, I sat down, I said, and for those of you guys who don't know, the LSAT is like the entrance exam or like an evaluation where you get a score between 120 and 180. And law schools want a certain score before they'll let you in. So take a class. First time I just walked in, I said, I've been taking tests my whole life. Didn't work out. Took a class, did much better. That's number one. Number two, practice the exam in a test-like environment. Quiet, set a timer, no interruptions. 3, complete the test. Like sometimes you're just going to skip over questions. No, it's really like a mental endurance exam. And 4, the LSAT was more challenging than the bar exam. So it was harder to get into law school than to actually become a lawyer and practice law. So it's pretty important. Gia won't let me say don't take the LSATs. Pick a different career. So that's my advice.
What was your most memorable experience working on?
Having a staff of 5 was great. Yesterday, that felt phenomenal. I had a pretty good win the other day. So I've been doing this like 13 years, guys. I've lost 4 cases and only 2 of them were at UNO. The other 2 were before I came here, and I should have won all 4 of those, but that's okay. I had a pretty big case where I had a student who had a warrant out for her arrest from something from years and years ago. We went to court. I got the warrant taken care of. She was facing a mandatory jail sentence of like 60 days or 90 days. Okay. Mandatory. She was on probation. She broke it. There's a warrant out. It's going to happen. We were able to get her back on probation, much to the prosecutor's dissatisfaction, and she's doing phenomenal. Single mom, went through some issues. She's doing phenomenal. So that one's fresh. That was pretty good. Anytime somebody naturalizes or gets residence, those are pretty good. That set aside I put on there was pretty good. I'd have to think about that, right? I don't need the ego boost, right? I get the case, like we do a great thing and then we move on. So I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. What's your favorite experience with my office? The stories? Okay.
Comfortable.
We are comfortable with each other. Yes. If you guys haven't been by, come by. I mean, set an appointment because I can't just let you in. Our door's locked, so no one's just walking in. But come check us out.
Do we just email you to set up an appointment?
Perfect.
Okay.
You can go online. We have an application there and that's confidential as well. Or you can call me or you can email me. These are my direct. It's my direct line, my direct email. So yeah. Did I see one over here by hand?
So
Yep.
I was just gonna ask, do you guys still do like notarizing stuff?
Yes. So notarize, if you guys want to get something notarized, we can do that. Chanel and I are both notaries. Maggie will be soon as well. It's like $30 at the courthouse now. Forget that. We'll do it for free. Just come by. And we can usually get you in like 15 minutes. Just call us and let us know. And I would have brought my stamp tonight if I knew you needed something.
Oh, I do.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anything on anything?
Me? Okay.
You, yeah.
Have you had cases of naturalization or residency in UNO?
Yes. A great number of them, actually. So what we're seeing with immigration, we are doing the naturalizations. We are doing adjustment of status, permanent resident. Usually those are based on like a family petition, spouse, parent, child. DACA renewals, work permit renewals, advanced parole, which is if you have like DACA, you can leave the country and come back with permission. There's a second kind of naturalization, which I won't get into. I've done one U visa. No, I've done like 3 U visas. So victims of crimes, they can adjust. If they have no status, they can adjust to permanent residence. And I've done 1 asylum. I think that's it. Is this like helpful, guys? Yeah. How am I doing? Like round of applause? I'm kidding. But I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm wondering. Like I'm wondering. Oh, you guys humor me. Yep.
Was something you wanna get into within Warren law? Like, is there like a certain type of, like, I guess, law you wanna go into more? Or like what kind of cases you like to do more of?
So historically, there have been 4 types of cases we won't do. One was bankruptcy, which I just got the software. A second is workers' compensation, because I've never done it. That's a pretty niche market. A third would be intellectual property. So you got to have a certain like undergraduate degree and you got to have a specialized experience, which I don't have and I'm not that smart. However, Maggie is. She's got intellectual property experience. So I am going to, what's the word? We're gonna utilize that. Okay. The 4th is collection work. So I was a collector for 3 years. I collected for banks and credit unions. I did some bankruptcy defense, etc. Those are really hard to do as a private attorney. There's like a separate set of rules. And if I violate them, it's like $1,000 fine plus attorney's fees, which can add up to like $40,000 pretty quick. So it kills me that I don't do those because I have the knowledge, but small mistake. And by small mistake, I mean, if I call someone at like 7:05, that's $1,000 fine. If I send a letter to the wrong address, that's $1,000 fine plus attorney's fees. It's pretty serious. So that one kills me. I don't know beyond that. We're pretty efficient at what we do. I'm pretty good at it. Yep.
Hey, well, I just figured sitting here thinking and listening to you here, I'm actually not a student senator, but
I'm a student here and I'm part of the student newspaper.
Do I have to answer him if he's not a senator? Kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm kidding. Go ahead. No, I'm keeping it light. Go ahead.
Just hearing you say that you might want to get out there with I don't know, just getting the word out more, so you don't want any students to not know that they have this option, you know, that's being funded by, you know, and it's right there. It would be really a shame if people didn't, if it flies under the radar.
I think so too.
That's, you know, it just flying through, you might.
Yeah.
I figured I'd toss it to my editor and stuff like that. I might reach out to your office, cause maybe we could do an article or a feature or something like that about
Love it.
what you guys are doing and you guys are providing this service, and so anyway, so I just figured I'd
Perfect.
throw that
So
out.
the student worker we just hired, part of the expectation with her is we're throwing around the idea of like a social media presence. If you look at Ohio State's office, Student Legal Services office, they have like this paralegal persona who does like TikTok challenges and stuff. I'm on the fence. Like, I think I could do some of them. I don't have a TikTok, but I think I could do some of them, but I don't know about that, right? So we're floating the idea of TikTok or Instagram or whatever else is out there. Yep. But I mean, I'm in. I'll talk to anybody.
I might be in touch, so.
Commit, be in touch. I'm just kidding.
So that does wrap up.
Really? We made it? You guys, we did it.
Well, if you have more questions, I believe Jacob will be next for dinner on October 30th. On October 30th, by the way.
I'll be there.
30th.
I will be there at 5:28.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's open. Okay. Thank you, Jacob, so much. Next up, we'll have Alex Schuler from the Office of Civic Engagement.
See, I'm never really too good with mics, but this one's not too loud, so it should be all right. I don't have a presentation or anything prepared, but good evening. I'm Alex Schuler, and I'm the Civic Engagement Ambassador for all of you, I guess, in a way, because we like to connect our community and our students and vice versa. So what I came to present is an idea called Pitch for Progress that we're doing at the Volunteer and Civic Engagement Department over in the CUC. Flyers right here, if anybody wants them. Always got my back, look at that. So what is Pitch for Progress? Pitch for Progress is an idea for change makers like all of you. Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here, I don't think. So Pitch for Progress, you come up with an idea for an event. You pitch your idea to a council, and who likes money? Who could use $1,000 right now? Raise your hand. I know I sure could. So if you win the pitch, which there may be one, there may be 10, it's a grant funded thing. You win your pitch idea, you get $2,000 to put on your event for the Nebraska-based nonprofit of your choosing. And then you get $1,000 as a leadership stipend for yourself, which sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I'd just like to close with applications open October 30th. And there are a couple nuances with it. In the flyers, there's a QR code. That QR code will give you the link to the website about the details for the event. So does anybody have any questions? I know it was a little vague, but.
Is the $1,000 like given to you as money or does it go toward tuition?
So I believe it's classified as a stipend. So my understanding is that like it's a cash check. But all of these questions should be verified with Anna Spethman, my boss. Her name's on all of the flyers as well as she's a faculty member. So A Spethman at unomaha.edu.
Can you explain more about what kind of nonprofits you're looking for?
Yeah, so it really is any nonprofit, except there are a couple nuances, like you can't make your event be a fundraiser. So it has to be an event directly giving back to the community. Like you can't be raising funds for said nonprofit, if that makes sense. As well as like you can't use the $2,000 for your event to pay a salary to someone helping you put on the event and things like that. Does that answer your question? Andrew?
It says applied by October 30th.
Right.
And you said they open October 30th. So I just wanted.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, so the application closes on the 30th. The first week that finalists will be announced is November 3rd. And then the pitch competition is on November 21st.
Yeah, where is it gonna be held at?
My best guess would be the CEC, given that it's our program, but yeah. I can tell you more about it as it gets closer. Yeah, and it'll say in the application, I bet. Lillian?
I'm on the civic engagement committee.
Yeah.
Is there any help that you would need from us to put this on or anything, or are you guys pretty set up?
So, we do have a pretty big group of people right now, given that we just added 2 student workers, myself and another girl. But if we do need something, I'll definitely reach out. Thank you. Isabel?
How many submissions are you expecting to get?
So I think we've had 10 to 20 people already reach out about applications, and that's before we already started advertising significantly. So, I mean, this is the first year for it, so anything I'd be saying is just speculating, but I hope a lot, and yours included, maybe. Yes.
Maybe it's a question for Anna, but do you have an idea about what grant will be used for this, this reward money? Because you kind of alluded to, if the committee sees fit, if maybe they think that, oh man, 3 of these pitches deserve to win.
Right.
3 of them will win. Well, that might be, you think that might be limited by the amount of money they can give out with these, but depending on how much the grant would like to give out.
Right.
So do you have any idea about that?
I mean, I think you're completely right on it's gonna be limited by the grant, but I don't know where it's coming from right now. I apologize, but she would definitely be able to get you that info.
Yeah.
Or I can email it to you as well. Anybody else? Yeah.
Are the projects you're looking for supposed to be representative or like a nonprofit of Omaha area, all of Nebraska?
So it can be anywhere in Nebraska. And it can be anything ranging from business oriented things for like expanding services to low income demographics, for example, or environmentally based recycling drive, community cleanups. If you're into health and wellness, go there, or even creative, the arts, like something like a community mural or an art workshop. There's just a huge range of options. Anything else? Yeah, Brent.
Any way we can like volunteer if we wanted to?
That's a great question. I would say the best way to go about that would be to get in touch with the people who are chosen by the committee. Because of course, it being a volunteer event for those putting it on, with the exception of the leadership stipend. That would be your best way to get involved with it. Ask those chosen by the committee to see if there's an option for volunteer.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. One more nuance, I guess. You can apply in teams as well. So it doesn't have to be an individual thing. You can split the stipend money up to 4 ways. So 250 a person. You can have 2 people, 3, whatever you want. So that's kind of a fun twist on it, but we don't have any other questions. Just another reminder, applications close. Thank you, Andrew. October 30th. So thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Alex. Our next business is the Student Organization of the Month Award. Senator Sebastian.
How are you guys doing today? All right, so I'm really excited to announce the RSO award here today. So registered student organizations are an integral part of campus experience. Each organization impacts campus in some way or form, whether it's through events, advocacy, or building community. The Student Organization of the Month Award was established to highlight and celebrate their impact. With that being said, can I get a drum roll here? The Outreach Committee is excited to announce the Student Organization of the Month of September, Maverick Maniacs. The Maverick Maniacs have been around for at least 15 years. Throughout this time, they have been a pivotal part of you. Oh. Can you guys hear me? Throughout this time, they have been a pivotal part of UNO Spirit community. To show up at sporting events and various events in the community to show UNO's pride. In 2017, they were awarded NCSSA Student Section of the Year. The Maverick Maniacs have been a group to always show up and show out, and it's only right to recognize that. Congratulations to the Maverick Maniacs, and the president of the organization, Megan Hoppy, is here to say some words.
Hello everyone. My name is Megan Hoppy and I'm the president of the Maverick Maniacs. We are honored to receive this recognition as Registered Student Organization of the Month. So the Maverick Maniacs are the leaders of the student section at UNO Athletic Games. We go to every single home UNO soccer, volleyball, hockey, basketball, softball, and baseball game. At the games, you can see us wearing our red and black striped overalls, leading cheers, holding signs, and waving flags, and creating an energy in the student section. We help increase school spirit across the campus and show the Omaha community our pride in our university. In addition, going to home games, we also have the opportunity to go on spirit trips to support our athletic teams as they play away games. Last year, we went to Palm Springs, California when hockey played in a tournament there. And we also went to Providence, Rhode Island for the first round of March Madness to support our men's basketball team. Spirit trips give students once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Spirit trips were the first time I ever got to go on an airplane, got to see the ocean, and got to see many other places I likely never would have gotten the chance to see. These trips have given me so many memories that I will have for my whole life, and they've helped me grow closer to my peers. I will forever remember screaming at the top of my lungs when we beat North Dakota in hockey, singing the UNO fight song with hockey players in 0-degree weather, and playing card games with my friends at 1 a.m. in the hotel lobby. What I love the most about the Maniacs is we're open to any student that wants to join. We currently have over 100 active members and we're always looking for more people to join. Our policy is to come to whatever events you can, so there's no reason not to be a maniac. What I love the most about the Maniacs is the sense of community that the club has created. I have so many friends because of the Maniacs, and there's always a friendly face to say hi to. This group truly supports each other. I'm so proud of the Maniacs for winning this honor, and I encourage anyone that wants to be a part of this fun, welcoming, and memorable organization to reach out and join us. And you can find us. We're part of the Office of Spirit and Tradition. Our office is in Milo 126, or you can look us up on social media and reach out. Thank you for listening.
So awkward. You gotta back up. No, you're so good. Gorgeous, okay.
Congratulations, Maverick Maniacs. We will now move into open forum. Guests will have up to 10 minutes to address the Senate with any concerns, whether or not they appear on the agenda. Senators may also speak on topics not included in the agenda. However, please reserve comments related to listed items for their scheduled discussion. If you're here for open forum, please sign in right here before leaving. The floor is now open.
Okay, this is for all of the senators and anybody here, but as a reminder, the QTS and SGA drag show is next Wednesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. in the Milo Bale Ballroom. I would really encourage everybody here to attend. It'll be a great event. Come support QTS and SGA. It's at 6 p.m. I know it's the day we get back from break, but it's also the start of homecoming, so it's a great homecoming event to attend. I want to see you all there.
Come on up.
Hello? Is it on? I just pick it. Oh, okay. I just founded this event just recently. It's called the No Kings 2.0 event. It's gonna be on this Saturday, October 18th from 12 to 4 p.m. Just kind of a little bit more about it. This is like the quote from like the mobilizer kind of interest form. It quotes, "In America, we don't put up with the what's with the what." Okay. Our peaceful movement is only getting bigger and stronger. No Kings is more than just a slogan. It's the foundation our nation was built upon on. Born in the streets, carried by millions in chants and on posters, it echoes from city blocks to rural town squares, uniting people across the country to fight for dictatorship together. The president thinks his rule is absolute, but in America, we don't have kings and we won't back down against chaos, corruption, or cruelty. Grow our movement and join us. A core principle behind all No Kings events is commitment to nonviolence actions. We expect all participants to seek to de-escalate any potential confrontation with those who disagree with our values and to act lawfully at these events. Of course, what's it called? Of course, weapons of any kind, included those legally permitted, should not be brought into the event. But this is also an event that's happening nationwide. I know there's a lot of other states that are partaking in this particular movement, and I would hope to see you guys there. Thank you.
Are there any other speakers for tonight? If there are no additional speakers, open forum is now closed. Our next item of business is reports. The chair is seeking a motion to skip reports and just have the senators read them at their own time, just due to the amount of topics that need to be covered. Is there a motion? Senator Acosta, is there a second? Senator Johnson, is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The motion has passed. Our next item of agenda is unfinished business. The first item is updates to the policy index. So just a quick run through. I will begin with the conflict of interest of updates. I do apologize. So these edits that you can see. So right now our policy isn't very clear on what counts as a conflict of interest. These edits will allow individuals that you see on the screen. Will make it. I'm trying to get to that. There it is. Sorry. Okay, so the process is straightforward. If you have a conflict of interest, I will ask you to raise your placard. If you do, you'll abstain from voting, but you can still take part in the discussion. The Director of Integrity will record the conflicts so everything is transparent. Abstentions typically count against the 2/3 majority requirement, but with these changes, if more than 1/3 of Senate declares a conflict of interest, this clause will kick in. So this is what it'll look like in practice. So right now we have 19 senators. If at least 6 of them declare a conflict of interest, the clause will apply. In that case, we will remove the 6 from the denominator and work with 13 instead. Then 2/3 of 13, so 8 votes would be the threshold to confirm or appoint someone. That way, a conflict of interest will not accidentally block a student from confirmation, but the vote will still require a supermajority, which is more than 2/3 of the remaining Senate. Just to be clear, you can always just abstain for any reason. That will not change. The only difference here is that more than 1/3 of Senate has to abstain specifically because of conflicts of interest. And we'll just adjust the math internally. This will probably keep it more transparent, more consistent and fair while making sure conflicts of interest don't unintentionally hold up the work of the Senate. And then there is one more thing, which I probably lost somewhere. We also update the non-discrimination statement. So just to be clear, but are there any questions that I can answer? Senator Johnson.
It's gonna be like conflict of interest gets added to yes, no, abstain voting.
So what I would do is before we even go into discussion, I will ask, are there any conflicts of interest? The senators will raise their placard and Director Neela will take account of that. You can still partake in discussion, but if we hit if we hit a certain number of people, we will put in the clause of abstentions. Does that make sense? Senator Costa.
And is the clause something that has to be like consciously invoked, or is it like automatically? Like if we were in that position, you guys would be like, you, the chair would be like, I'll invoke the clause and then it's in effect?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's just say, we'll just go back to the 19 votes or 19 senators, excuse me. If only 5 people declare a conflict of interest, that clause will not be invoked. If we hit that 6 clause, or if we hit that 6 senator, we will invoke the clause. And I will say that up front.
Okay, and so then say we get the 6 conflict of interest abstentions, we go into voting, and then another person chooses to abstain just for another reason, that wouldn't be counted, that's like for the new vote, right, the adjusted.
It will be counted as an
So
abstention.
if one person abstains in that case, then they couldn't be, or they could, like if their votes were there for them, we wouldn't run into the same.
So what will happen is, let's just go back to 19, right? 6 people vote for or have a conflict of interest, they'll abstain. If the 7th person wants to abstain, just whatever reason,
Right.
they can still abstain,
Right.
but they will still be counted in. Yes.
You would still need the 8 votes to,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Or Senator Johnson.
Is there like a cap to where like we wouldn't meet quorum if like say 10 people had a conflict of interest? Would that be too few people to be able to vote?
So if there's 10 people who have a conflict of interest, we will do 19 minus 10, 9 senators. We will take 2/3 of that 9. Chief of Staff Gomez.
What Senator Johnson is asking is if we get so many abstentions because of conflict of interest, if there's a certain point where we're not going to consider invoking that clause. So if we have 15 abstentions due to a conflict of interest and we only have 4 senators who can vote, are we still allowed to invoke this clause and then just do 2/3 of the 4? I guess that's your concern, correct? So I would personally say yes. If we ever get to that point where where 15 people have a conflict of interest, I don't believe that'll ever happen. But if it does, I do think it's still fair to go based off that 2/3, just because majority of the senators know someone. I don't think that should prevent them from being voted in.
Are there any further questions? Regent Lacey.
I just have a statement. Make sure we're just using the mic so it gets picked up on the Zoom for the people who are listening. That goes for all senators. There should be mics on all the different tables. So
Thank you. Are there any other questions about this policy? If there's no more questions, is there any discussion on the resolution to update the policy index? If there's no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The resolution has been adopted. Our next item of business is the appointment of FYLC Ambassador Clancy Rodriguez. Is there a proponent speech?
Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, that's loud. Okay. It's nice to meet you. Hope you guys are having a good day. My name is Clancy Rodriguez. My pronouns are he, him. I am one of the 2 student ambassadors chosen for the first year leadership committee. And in the words of Malcolm X, a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. And I say that because I truly believe that your voice is one of the most powerful things you have. It's one of the most powerful things you can utilize. I've been involved in public speaking and leadership for above 7 years now. When I was in high school, I love to give the administration hell. I was an advocate for trans, queer, and other minority groups. I had weekly meetings with them. Currently, right now, I'm trying to get involved in the queer trans services, the Students in Justice for Palestine, the Math Closet, and other volunteer work. But it's hard as an incoming freshman to get involved in those things. I'm super duper busy. And on that note, I think it's important to note that as students and as freshmen, we are paying about what, $6,000 for tuition, maybe more if you're living on campus, maybe less if you have scholarships, but nonetheless, that is valuable, important money. That's a lot of money to be spending. And I think it's fair to say, and we can all agree, that with that much money we are spending, we deserve to have a reliable education. So I've heard and found from my fellow freshmen, just a little hallway talk, that professors nowadays are not reaching teaching standards. So we've done I did a few surveys, and the results showed that some professors are utilizing ineffective teaching techniques. They have unfair grading expectations. They have excessive workloads, and they have really not fair tardiness or poor attendance policies. Students right now are struggling to transition into this real world. They are balancing school, work, social life, their independence, finances, all this stuff that is new to them. And when they express that, when they express their frustrations and their overload, their stresses, they get told one phrase: "Welcome to the real world." That's what adulting is about. That's exactly my point. We're transitioning into the real world, and yet we don't have professors that are giving us guidance, that are being helpful and educating us in a way to set us up for success. Students need guidance, not dismissal. There's also a sassiness epidemic going on right now, where a lot of professors are responding very sassily instead of being professional, which I feel like is kind of frustrating for a lot of incoming students. We're set up from high school that college is going to be this super professional onboarding thing. And then we get here and we're like, "Hey, professor, I'm not sure really what's going on." And we get hit with well, it's in the syllabus. Did you read the syllabus? I did read the syllabus actually a couple of times. I believe that there's a couple ways to fix this, right? So as of right now, I'm not sure if they already have it, but professors should have administrative meetings regarding student success alone. I think that's very important. I think it should be monthly, if not weekly, because that is quite literally their job. I think professors should be more open to constructive criticism, should be more onboarding with viewing their emails, viewing their Canvas inbox, with uploading assignments in a timely manner, as well as grading assignments in a timely manner. I think that teachers should assess student effort and set their expectations before they start grading harshly, because it's unfair to set an expectation and yet you're not expressing or communicating that with your students, who are then failing your classes or failing your grades, and that reflects on you as a professor as well. And also, these professors are people with PhDs. They have done their thesis. They have critical thinking skills. They are grown adults with families, husbands, children. They know how to communicate, and they can do it. They just don't want to. And that's a problem. Some other things, some very, very important, incredibly important things that need immediate attention, right now, I think it's fair that we all can say we have a pretty limited dining options. Unless you live on Scott campus, if your class gets out at 2 p.m., you have Chick-fil-A. I'm tired of chicken, guys. So you don't want chicken, right? Let me just grab a snack from a vending machine, except for our vending machines are broken. Students are broke, hungry, college students, and we can't even give them the proper equipment to get a quick meal in so they can focus in their classes. Again, we're just setting them up for failure from the beginning. All right, so now I'm gonna stop yapping. That's enough of that. I do want to talk a little bit about what it means for me to be in this position, and how grateful I am to have been given the opportunity to be here. I never thought that I would be a part of Student Senate. My high school didn't have a student government, but yet when I came into college, my one goal was to be a part of the community. It was to volunteer. It was to meet people like you and take inspiration, to get inspired, to use my voice, a voice that has been shut down and ridiculed for so many years, coming from such a small, closed-minded community, and to talk about the differences and make a difference for the freshmen that are coming in, for the future freshmen that are coming in, because maybe you've heard this phrase too, the kids are our future. And students need to be set up for success from the get-go, no matter if that's the professors, the parking, the shuttles, reliable campus security. It needs to be reformed. It needs to be better. It's great, but everything could be better. As a freshman coming into Student Senate, that's my main goal, is to voice those concerns, to call them out, maybe get involved in a little bit of controversy. No, just kidding. But I want to emphasize that, especially right now in a time where there's so much political unrest, where there's so much political tension, we can all work together. And I know that we can all get along enough to work together to help solve some of these issues, to communicate about these issues in the ways that professors should, the way that students should. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. And I'm very optimistic for our future, for the Student Senate future. I think it's amazing. And I think the setup that we have is so spectacular, completely blew me out of the water. So I want to thank you again for the evening, for giving me the opportunity to talk. Sorry I talked your ear off, but yeah, that's all that I have. Thank you guys.
Are there any questions for Clancy? Senator Clark,
So, you talked about,
could you please use the mic?
sorry. You know.
Okay, cool.
Okay, there's a lot of everything everywhere. So you talked about how you have a lot of concerns to voice and you have a lot of things that you want to discuss. Specifically, when it comes to what you want to talk about, what your goals are, like what you want to go in and be like, here's my concern, here's what I need you to do about it. What is your method of going about that? Or I'm trying to phrase this into one question instead of two. What is the way that you would go into that where they would take it seriously at a caliber of, oh, this is something that's actually a problem and not something that these kids are being ungrateful about?
Yeah, so I know that we're coming up as that chancellor dinner where we're meeting with, I think it's the chancellor, I believe we're meeting with at Qdoba, we're talking with. The dean, sorry, it's the dean that we're coming and talking with. So I did want to ask the dean a couple questions regarding, because I don't know right now if administration is having meetings based on student success. I don't know that. What I've heard is that administration or professors kind of talk in their own little groups, kind of in their own little boards, their campuses. So I'm not quite sure, but I did want to talk to the dean and ask that question in particular, to try to understand where I can come from when I do voice this opinion. So if there are meetings, I want to find out who is administering those meetings so I could talk to that person. And if there aren't meetings, I want to talk to maybe the director of the board of, you know, whatever class that I'm looking at, and have a conversation with them. Because I'm not sure how the system works right now. So it's kind of like a bottom up sort of thing. And like, it's my first year, so I'm just learning the grounds of everything. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Are there any other questions for Clancy?
Well, hey, Clancy, my name is Brett. I'm part of the student newspaper here, and I might be in touch with you here just to discuss some of these things that you mentioned. But just to be clear, you're currently an FYLC ambassador at the moment, and you're seeking a role in Senate. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's ultimately my goal, is to get into Senate right now. So this is the speech where they decide if I get into FYLC ambassador. But yes, ultimately my goal is to be in student Senate.
Can he be asking questions about somebody yielding time to him?
I do apologize. Senator Jake.
I yield my time to the.
Sorry, I didn't put that. Thank you. Thank you. It's 30 seconds.
That was fine. That was fine.
Okay, awesome.
Are there any other questions? Senator Acosta.
I just want to ask, like, what's been something exciting that you've experienced in your first semester so far?
Oh my goodness, probably everything. I took a gap year where I just worked the whole entire year, and so I really experienced that real world kind of stuff. I worked in a kitchen. Those people are characters themselves. And so coming into college, the whole thing was kind of like super duper cool. Like I don't live on campus, but the campus is the housing. I have a friend who lives over here on Scott, and his dorm is humongous. That just blew me out of the water. Then I think everybody, I know they say UNO doesn't have a social life, but I think everybody here has been super friendly to me and just very just nice as well. And that was amazing to see and hear. And I love how expressive the university, or how open the university is to people expressing themselves, like the people outside of Milo Bale who are talking their political stances, like about Christianity or their abortion stances. And then you have the other people who are showing off their culture. Like I just think it's very diverse. And so that's another thing that I just kind of blew me out of the water coming here.
Being, because you said in high school you had done a lot of the, as you said, you gave administration hell, and I was sort of in your shoes, especially, I don't know if you experienced this, but at least where I went to high school, they're mandated to tell your parents if you want to change your name to something. So I gave them hell about that, and I'm just saying that as a point of, I know where you're coming from and maybe some of the struggles you have seen with that. And bouncing off that point, if you were to see some sort of pushback, or you bring something up and they're like, oh yeah, we'll fix that, and then like 6 months go by and it's worse than when it started. If it comes to a situation like that, how would you go about addressing it?
Definitely. So I feel it depends on kind of the pushback that I'm getting and who I'm getting it from. So if I'm getting it from other students, I feel that as a person, I can take advantage of maybe the Clear Trans services, or I could take advantage of, people here in the Student Senate. I can make connections and talk with those people and kind of find a way to navigate around that. But if I'm facing some kind of issues with administration, I have a lot of experience with sitting in front of teachers and intimidating higher up administration and just talking to them until they listen, So I think the way that I would really go about it is to try and find who would be the most willing to listen and who is the most willing to help me. Because ultimately my goal is, it's not just to benefit me and a specific category of students. I want to benefit everybody. So yeah, I think it would just be, again, that kind of bottom up approach, but I would not give up until I got what I wanted.
Are there any other questions for Nancy? If there are no more questions, Director Neal, could you please escort Nancy? Before we begin, are there any conflicts of interest? If there are, please raise your placard. Okay, is there any discussion on the appointment of Clancy Rodriguez as FYLC ambassador? If there is no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. Okay. Clancy Rodriguez has been appointed as FYLC ambassador. Congratulations. The next item of business is the appointment of FYLC Ambassador Calenciana Perry. Is there a proponent speech?
All right, can y'all hear me? All right. Well, my name is Caliciana Perry. I was elected by FYLC to become an ambassador. First off, I just want to honor each and every one of you with great due diligence that I am proud to represent you and be here tonight. I take this role with great pride and respect. Just a little background about me. I am an author, a best-selling author for about 8 weeks straight when I was 15. Published my very first book, Why the Black Man Cries. I have worked on numerous accounts of different cases with the NAACP of Omaha. Currently, I public speaking around the world, and I also sit on the Nebraska Coalition of Juvenile Justice, and I am also a member of what is called New Voices of Omaha. As Angela Davis once said, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. And I want each and every one of you all to know that even though this position was granted to me, that does not mean I stand above you. It means I stand with you. And it does not mean I speak for myself. It means I carry your voices forward. It does not mean I will have all the answers. It means I am committed to asking the right questions and listening to your concerns and fighting for what matters to us. Essentially, this position to me is not about a title. It is about fervent responsibility. It is about making sure that when decisions are being made, we are not ignored, overlooked, nor silenced. Because my power in this role doesn't come from the name ambassador. My power comes from the trust you have placed in me. My power comes from the collective strength of all of us standing together. Some of the issues that I wanted to bring up were the Maverick Food Pantry. In a survey that I conducted out of the 28 out of 30 people, a lot of first-year members of UNO did not know anything about the food pantry. And with that being said, as someone who has been in a position of low income, I just want to say that food should be accessible to everybody, no matter the circumstance. And if you're already paying for significant education at a public university, food should be the least of somebody's issue, which is why I proposed that the food pantry will have an outcome every 2 weeks of the month. With that being said, anybody who is low income or anything else like that should be accessible to the food pantry itself. And it was also brought up to me that the $100 meal plans, it is a required payment at the beginning of the not sure if it's at the beginning or the end of a semester, but the requirement should not be that people should be paying it. It should be optional. That is another thing that I also want to bring up because it should be up to you whether you want to pay it or not. Another thing was stop sign placement. Now, as someone who travels to and from campus, I see a lot of people speeding past on campus, and it is absolutely ridiculous. We have stop signs for a reason. You stop at them for a reason, so you yield to pedestrians. I know someone at FYLC said that they had gotten into a car accident or something like that. And his point really brought me to it because it's just like stop signs are there for a reason. Everybody should be yielding to anybody that is crossing the street. And also another thing about campus security, we need to be safe on campus. And if people are not following that, then what is the point of security on campus? Another thing that I wanted to bring up was that no one should be sacrificing survival over education. And as long as I am standing in front of you, I will make sure in my power and my due diligence that everything that you bring to me is addressed. Because at the end of the day, we are all humans. We all represent different things, and we should all be coming together to represent each other and not against each other. Another thing that I also wanted to point out was obviously there has been a lot of discrimination on campus. And it was also brought to my attention that with this discrimination comes a lot of setbacks. And I wanted to say that as someone who has also experienced discrimination herself as a young Black girl here in America, I want to also point out that this position itself means greater for me and also greater for you, because I want to work with everybody, no matter who you are, because there are lots of issues that are being brought to you guys, and we should all be listening to that, and we should all be respecting each other's points, which is why I want to hold myself to a higher accountability because at the end of the day, like I said, we are all human beings and we all carry the same task. So to conclude, I will continue to do my due diligence as somebody here to represent you. And I am your echo at the end of the day, your amplifier and your bridge. And together, I want to make sure that all voices are heard and that this campus has no choice but to listen. Thank you.
You talked about discrimination on campus. Could you go deeper in that? I have no idea that that has been going on. Could you expand more on that?
So, I had a friend, it was kind of like, I should have emphasized this more, but it was like peer-to-peer contact. My friend, she is not here from America. She is an immigrant. Her family migrated here. And she was in this, she's with a bunch of friends, and her friends were like making fun of her because like making fun of her parents and stuff like that. And she brought it to me and she was just like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, I came here to UNO to like forego like have a better education and stuff like that, and I didn't think that all of this discrimination here would follow me from students. And so when I say discrimination, that's what I'm talking about. Like we all come here for a reason, is to better ourselves in education and to become better. And so with discrimination like that, we shouldn't be having that at all on campus. We should be helping each other to rise better to the assumption that we are all going to do better. And with things like that, problems like that should not be. And so, which is why, like, if and when I do become a point, I wanted to also emphasize on that, because as someone who has also experienced discrimination, it is not tolerated nor acceptable from any counterpart, which is why I'm very glad you asked me that question, because it shouldn't be acceptable at all.
Senator Lucas Pereira.
Firstly, I just want to say. Oh, you have to turn it on. Sorry, y'all. This is my first time using this microphone. I firstly just want to say I really love your speech. I really connected to basically everything you say. Of course, I know discrimination was being talked about. I had my fair share of discrimination on campus, so that was lovely. But that happened like last year, but that's neither here or there. I just want to hear more about your background, because you said a lot of great things that I feel like everyone should hear about. You said you were part of the juvenile committee, and then you said one other program. I would love to hear about how that background is really gonna help, I guess, impact you, and how you think that really has. No, more of like, how is that gonna impact you, or like, no, sorry, what have you learned from those programs that's gonna help you for this role?
So yes, thank you. It is called the Nebraska Coalition of Juvenile Justice. I was appointed by the Lieutenant Governor. So with that being said, my uncle, Preston Love Jr., he was running for Senate against P. Ricketts. And I got to contact with that position through my uncle, and he told me about the position. He told me that I would be a great fit. And out of a pool of, I think, about 50 people, only 20 of people were accepted, and I was one of the 20. My background with that reason, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because we focus not only on cases with kids in detention centers, but also we impact like youth programs. So such as different food banks here in Nebraska, like the Sherwood Foundation, they help and reach out. And also the other collective that I am involved in is called New Voices. It's ranging from kids in, I believe high school up into the age of 26. So what we focus on not only is the political standpoint of things here in Omaha, but we also talk about civil rights cases, things like that, what we can do to better the community in Omaha. And we are currently meeting with the mayor at a town hall, I believe it is next week, to talk about some different impacts such as the discrimination and the different policies that the governor has enlisted and things like that. The last thing was, yes, I am a published author. It is a book about civil rights, and yes, I wrote it when I was 15, published it.
bestseller for 8 weeks and is still up and running today.
So you mentioned all the other things that you are currently part of or were part of, and I assume a lot of those take a lot of time, energy, focus, attention in order for them to be done properly in a way that, like you said, are there done diligence and are done properly and respectfully. With being appointed into this, into FYLC, how are you, I guess, what is your plan to ensure that everything, like just outside of the other commitments that you're in, like your school or the job that you might have, or even if you're writing another book, like just what is your plan to make sure that everything gets done in a way that it deserves to be done, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So with the meetings for my other 2 coalitions, they do not coincide with any of these Senate meetings. So which is why I am obviously able to attend these. And the other meetings that I have are only once a month. So they happen, the Nebraska Coalition, they happen at the end of the month, and then the New Voices happen at the beginning of the month, which makes time for me to have FYLC under my belt. And obviously, if issues are being defined and they need help, I will make the time for it. That's why I said, you know, like when it comes down to very significant issues, and I just want to make everybody aware that just because I hold these other positions, I will always be 100% available for this, because I want everyone to know that just because I hold all these positions does not make me better than anybody else, if that makes sense. I want to make the time, and I do have the time, which is why I am here today.
I guess that does make sense, but just to get a little bit more specific, like let's say one of your committees has a meeting and they decide that they're gonna do this thing that is like everybody has to be all in 110% for 2 weeks. I don't really know how they work, truth be told. But then there's also something that you have to do for FYLC here that is also like the same thing. Like for 2 weeks, 110%, we got to get this thing done. I guess when it comes to those things, how are you going to make sure that you are still giving your 100%, but everything is getting done in the way that it should be, if that makes a little bit more sense?
I see what you're saying. I just want to clarify that with the Nebraska Coalition of Juvenile Justice, we have monthly meetings, but the meetings are only for the purpose of, we don't have like projects that we work on per se. We just have like a list of things, like let's say like John Turner will give me something to work on. The purpose of that is getting done in the meeting. It's never anything outside of the meeting, if that makes sense. So everything that we work on is inside the meeting. Nothing will be going outside, which is why like when it comes down to FYLC, I will always be 100% committed, because when I go to those other meetings, everything gets done there. Nothing is outside, if that answers your question.
Yes.
If none, Director Camille, can you please escort Valenciana? Before we begin, are there any conflicts of interest? Please raise your placard. Okay, is there any discussion on the appointment of Calenciana Perry as FYLC ambassador? If there is no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. Calenciana Perry has been appointed as FYLC ambassador. Our next item of business is discussion on the employment of agency directors. The chair is seeking a motion that SGA enters executive session for the purpose of agency director finalist considerations. The following individuals shall be permitted to remain present as invited guests. The finalist for the agency director position. Attendance shall otherwise be limited to the advisor as the search committee chair, executive directors, coordinators, managers, and senators who have been confirmed by the advisor as having completed the required HR training. All other members of the audience will be required to leave the room until the end of the executive session. Any voting member who has not completed the required training must also leave, and their vote will be recorded as an abstention. The live stream will be paused until the end of executive session. Is there a motion? Senator Clark, is there a second? Senator Mitchell. It has been moved and seconded to enter executive session for the stated purpose. Is there any discussion? As there is no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. 17, all those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. We are now in executive session. All invited guests and individuals mentioned in the motion may remain seated. All other parties must leave the room for the remainder of the executive session. You will be invited once the session concludes. Senators, ambassadors, and directors, as a reminder, you must be present for adjournment. If you leave within 15 minutes prior to adjournment, it will be counted as an absence in accordance with our governing documents. Thank you. Okay. We are now moving on to new business. The first item of business is the appointment of College of Business Administration Senator Sadio Isi. Is there a proponent speech?
Hello, everyone. My name is Sadio Isse, and I'm currently a senior majoring in business admin with a concentration in international business and marketing. I have gained a lot of hands-on experience where I've learned the value of communication, leadership, and teamwork throughout my journey here at UNO and also at my current internship. I also serve as a secretary for CEO, where we connect students to resources, mentors, local entrepreneurs, as well as networking opportunities to grow as a future leaders and future business leaders and entrepreneurs. I'm passionate about advocating and helping others however I can and making sure everyone's voices are being heard. With that being said, as CBA student senator, I will be advocating for students' needs, promoting opportunities, and building a stronger and more connected community here at CBA. That's it.
Are there any questions? Are there any questions for CDO? Before we start, are there any conflicts of interest? If there are, please raise your placard. Okay. Is there any discussion on the appointment of Sadio Isse as a Senator of Business Admin? Senator Serrano?
We kind of had to hear, it's just mind filling in what she said. I just wanted to know what you said.
I feel like.
Senator Barrientos?
I feel like it wasn't really anything crazy. She's Secretary of CEO. She basically just kind of addressed her full role in being a senator, which is addressing the students' needs. But other than that, yeah, she's majoring in business administration and international business.
Are there any other, or is there any further discussion? If there's no more discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. Sadio Isse has been appointed as the Senator of Business Administration. Our next item of business is the resolution for sponsorship of the Free the Facts Fall 2025 Policy Tour. Is there a proponent speech?
All right, guys, I'm going to keep this short because I want to get out of here too. As you guys know, I brought this up during our last circuit meeting, but since then there have been some questions about a little bit more about across the aisle and how this issue of Social Security is actually affecting us. So I'm just going to do a brief review of that. So Across the Aisle is a nonpartisan nonprofit organization that was founded 10 years ago, starting in 2026, that focuses on educating our generation, so college students and younger, about pressing issues relating to the federal budget, the national debt that we have, and other issues like Social Security, Medicare, and then student loans. And so one of those things that we're going to be talking about is the Free the Facts aspect of Across the Aisle. As you guys can see here, we have the Free the Facts website, so you can look around while I'm speaking. They've separated into 3 different areas, one being Free the Facts, which is their educational program. Answer the Call, which is their ambassador program, which I am a part of, as well as Alexis Sip. And then the Across the Aisle, which is like their overall program. So I'm going to talk about Free the Facts because we got approved as Answer the Call ambassadors. Sorry, this is a relatively new rebrand. As Answer the Call ambassadors, we were approved for a policy tour November 20th, which is going to be here at UNO talking about Social Security. And that's relevant to us as college students because, like I said last week, we are all paying into Social Security right now. And going back to the baby boomer generation, which was a big generation, they started paying into Social Security and they're at the age where they are now retiring. And they're pulling out of that Social Security fund at a higher rate than we are feeding into it. So what that means for us when we are going into retirements, there's not going to be enough money to start. Well, it's going to happen a lot sooner than that. In 10 years, Social Security is going to go insolvent, which basically means there's not going to be enough money to fund all the people who are retiring right now. So you're going to have to cut benefits by a certain percentage. I believe it's 28%. So instead of receiving what you would normally receive if you were paying into Social Security your entire life, you're only going to receive 72% of those benefits. And once it comes to our generation, we're not going to have anything left over. And this is a part of a wider issue relating to the federal budget, policy, Congress, people's inability to work together. And Free the Facts Across the Aisle really wants to just educate our generation. So when it comes time for us to enter these leadership roles, we know exactly what's going on and we can work together to address this. So that's pretty much it. We have a policy tour November 20th, and what Free the Facts or Answer the Call needs from us is a sponsoring organization. And so as a sponsoring organization, the only thing it really means is we need an organization to actually book the room. And they expect whatever sponsoring org is going to be representing the policy tour to promote it. It's not like an actual responsibility, but they would like to get it. And I thought it'd make the most sense to have student government represent because we reach a lot of students here at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. So like I said in the resolution, doesn't require any financial assistance from student government. All we need to do is book the room. And in this resolution, I just asked that I'm allowed to book the room and then we can promote it on our channels to get a lot of students involved because this is, regardless of if you want to go into politics or whatever, I think this is really beneficial for you to know about and prepare for. Because if there's no solution to this, we're going to find out the hard way 10 years down the line, 40 years down the line, when there's no more benefits to be receiving. So if you guys have any other questions, please ask me now.
Are there any questions for do this help with it?
No point of conversation that you guys had last time when this was initially brought up was SJ potentially advertising it as well. Is that something included in this resolution or? Yes, it should be in the therefore it be it finally resolved. That the Student Government Association will collaborate with the Across the Aisles Leadership Program team and the campus ambassadors to assist in promoting the event through SGA marketing channels.
Sorry, go step.
Do you anticipate that the relationship between like SJ or just UNO in general and the Free the Facts is going to continue post this one tour, or is it just like a one and done kind of thing?
So we currently have a team of 5 ambassadors, and each semester you can propose to Across the Aisles leadership team. We want to do this and this event. So we submitted one for this semester. This is, first of all, this resolution is just like a one-time obligation. If the ambassadors next year say we want to do another policy tour or something else, they'll need to submit that to the policy team. And if we were to get approved for that again, we can go through an entirely different organization to sponsor, or we could go through student government, and it'd be the same process as writing a resolution and voting on it.
Are there any other questions for Chief of Staff Gomez? Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
Is there any discussion on the resolution called sponsorship of the, excuse me. Is there any discussion on the sponsorship of the Free the Facts Fall 2025 Policy Tour resolution? If there are no more If there's no discussion, all those in favor, please raise your placard. All those opposed, please raise your placard. All those abstaining, please raise your placard. The resolution has been passed. Our next item of business is good of the order. The good of the order question is, what are your plans for fall break? I'll go first. I am looking forward to sleeping in. Chief of Staff Gomez.
Sleeping in as well and getting caught up on late school.
Director Neela.
I am heading home.
Brett.
I think I'll be working and doing some reading, catching up on some books.
Hey, Senator Costa.
We'll be going to Minnesota to my friend.
Senator Mitchell.
I will be sleeping.
Hey, Senator Potts.
I have a boyfriend there trying to plan a road trip right now. Otherwise, break.
Good luck. Senator Barrientos. Senator Shake.
Go to Chicago.
Senator Clark.
At work, and then I'm just gonna enjoy 2 days of not doing anything, just kind of exist for a little bit.
Senator Weisman.
Where did you mow my lawn?
Hey, Regional IC.
I don't really get a fall break, but I'm looking forward to I guess lunch with Dr. Gold and the exec team.
Manager Heyman.
I'll be in Chicago for like less than 24 hours. I'll be
Coordinator Sip.
I will be working.
Director Savage.
Yeah.
Director Hills.
To get around that check us.
Director Steffens. Senator Melgar Serrano. Senator Williams.
Sleep to work.
Senator Bishop. Senator Clinton DeRude. Okay, Senator Johnson.
Not on bond.
Senator Sebastian.
Houston.
Senator Lopez Pereira.
I'm just gonna be working.
Okay, Senator Sapkota.
Sleeping.
Senator Issei.
Spontaneous.
Senator El Rifai. Senator Tasneem. Advisor Brock.
Comedy goes Saturday and I work Monday.
Okay. Director Srinivasan. Okay, perfect. Is there a motion for adjournment? Senator Potts. Second, Senator Shake. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. The meeting has been adjourned.
Guys, I want to be back.
I know. I thought.
Just like